Excellent job by Zach Harper right there. Hey, got to let everybody know before we continue on here. If you're not feeling well, it's the beginning of the week. I'm not talking about if you're hungover because you had a great championship Sunday, watching the games, get a little boozing going on. But maybe you're getting sick. Maybe you're coming down with something. If that's the case, what if I told you instead of having to go to the urgent care and sit there for hours and pay a huge copay, what if I told you that the urgent care can come to you? That's right. Doctors on call, 365 South Florida's urgent care. They come to you. That's right. Treating children, adults, the elderly. If you're sick, if you're under the weather, Dr. Alon, he's the medical director, board certified emergency medicine and residency trained internal medicine doctor. He's coming to your home. You call right now if you're not feeling well. 786-577-9302. Phones are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can go online right now as well, doctorsoncall365.com. You're going to get Dr. Alon to come to your home that day. He's going to treat you right there. You need a COVID test, strep test, flu test. You need vitamin therapy. You need blood drawn. You need a prescription filled or refilled. Whatever you got going on, Dr. Alon is going to come to your home and get you back on track. I mean, the convenience, for me, that's everything. But also, you would have to go to the emergency room and wait for hours, and then your copay is going to wind up being more than you would be charged in the comfort of your own home or your office or wherever you're at for Doctors on Call 365 to come to you. Again, if you're not feeling well, let's get it taken care of in the most convenient of situations. 786-577-9302. And of course, you can always go to doctorsoncall365.com. Real shitty loss for the Heat yesterday afternoon. Like you heard me there with Zach. I'm not about to get upset with it. Yeah, they could beat anyone and they could lose to anyone. That's who they are right now. Now, I know there's some people out there who send me some text messages, send me some tweets where it's like, hey, you hear these Heat Colin Sexton rumors? I saw like one account is out there saying that the Heat have discussed a trade with the Jazz. I feel like, number one, it's only one account that I see it from, so I don't believe it. But also, whenever you're reading Heat have discussed, it's bullshit. The Heat, I mean, they keep such a tight lip. There are no leaks. If the Heat have discussed something, you're not going to hear about it. I also have a hard time believing that the Heat and Danny Ainge with the Jazz are going to be able to negotiate something. I think that's a difficult trade to make. But Colin Sexton rumors, all the offseason, I was all over Colin Sexton. I'm a fan. I think he's a Heat kind of guy. I would love for the Heat to make a move for Colin Sexton. I'd love for them to make a move getting rid of Kyle Lowry, but I would love for them to make a move for Colin Sexton. Now, they would not be trading Lowry there. The Utah has no interest in Kyle Lowry. Utah would want they would want probably multiple first-round picks, which is crazy to give that up. And they would want Nikola Jovic, who would feel like a first-round pick as well, because he was a first-round pick for the Heat. I would love for the Heat to get something done for Colin Sexton. I don't know how realistic it is because, again, it's from this one account. It's got like a bunch of followers, but I've never heard of it. And, yeah, when it's coming from just one place, a lot of clout chasing going on out there. So I don't necessarily buy it. And like you heard there as well, I mean, LeBron's theatrics out there. My goodness. Oh, my God. How does LeBron care so much about the game that he's ruled out 36 hours ahead of the next one? Zach's right. It feels performative. He is very, very tough to watch. All right, anyway, very much looking forward to WWE Raw tonight. That's right. Royal Rumble Fallout. Make sure you go back and you listen to this week's episode of It's Still Real to Me reaction show from the Royal Rumble. Let's get to big deal or not a big deal. You know how we do it. So how about after the game yesterday, NFC Championship has been awarded to the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts, he was breaking out the vocals.
Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. Fly, Eagles, fly. Score a touchdown, 1, 2, 3. Hit them low, hit them high, and watch those Eagles fly. Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory.
All right, this is not a big deal. Terrible, terrible singing voice there from Jalen Hurts. That song is obnoxious as hell anyway. We were watching the NFC Championship at the Briny yesterday, Briny Irish Pub, Pompano Beach. You had this one guy, super loud, sitting at the bar, and every time the Eagles scored, he's singing Fly, Eagles, Fly. Very obnoxious. This is not a big deal. Big deal or not a big deal? After the Eagles won yesterday, the Empire State Building lit up green in honor of the Eagles winning the NFC Championship. The Empire State Building is in New York City. The Eagles play in Philadelphia. The Giants and the Eagles are bitter rivals. This is a big deal. What the hell is going on, Empire State Building? How did anyone think that was an appropriate idea? Big deal or not a big deal? I saw this report that the Green Bay Packers, they may be preferring to move on from Aaron Rodgers. I don't know what you're going to get in trade for Aaron Rodgers, but I will tell you, see, this is a big deal, of course. If they're going to trade Aaron Rodgers, that's a big deal, but this would be the right move. Aaron Rodgers, for the first time in his career, is not outperforming his contract. He's being paid more than he is worth for the first time in his career. And that would be a good sign for the Packers to move on from him. So I'm going big deal. Big deal or not a big deal? Everyone hates Tony Romo now. Tony Romo a few years ago was the darling of broadcasting. And now, you go on Twitter, you go on social media during that game yesterday, everyone hates him. Now, I will tell you, I was getting a little bit annoyed by Romo too during the game. But you know what also bothered me? So there's this idea out there that he's not preparing for games anymore the way that he used to. He's being paid so much money. Romo, after the game, when you had Travis Kelce come in and he's yelling, "This isn't Burrowhead, this is Arrowhead, Burrowhead my ass." And Romo was confused. Romo was acting, and I don't think it was an act, but it sounded like Romo was hearing Burrowhead for the first time. How is that possible? Tony, you can't be broadcasting the game and you're not paying enough attention that you haven't heard all the Burrowhead, Arrowhead stuff. That's a bad job out of Tony Romo. That's a big deal. He's being paid so much money. Everyone seems to hate him now. That's a big deal. Finally, big deal or not a big deal, Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare. He returned at the Royal Rumble this weekend. He entered at number 30. He won the Men's Royal Rumble. He's going to WrestleMania, presumably to face Roman Reigns, although there's still much story to be told there as far as Roman and Sami and the Bloodline go. But Cody Rhodes, I like how after the huge WWE Premium Live events, they do press conferences. I got to go to one of these. And Cody Rhodes, he was talking to the media after winning the Royal Rumble.
Triple H has no reason to be a fan of mine, if you really think about it. I smashed the throne. I took a lot of shots, always lighthearted, but I think he knew where it was coming from. I was hungry. I mean, he's the one guy. I don't think he remembers this, but I'll never forget it. I remember I talked to him in gorilla position one time when I was really frustrated doing Stardust, and I went to walk out, and he looked back at me and he said, "Hey, rattle the cages." And I, okay, you know, like that could have meant a lot of things. Go talk to the writers. He said, "Rattle the cages." I took it real literally, and went out and rattled them as much as I could. And I'm so glad that relationship gets to develop now. Because it's clearly, if you guys have seen how I've modeled a lot of my presentation and performance, I'm clearly a massive Triple H fan. So I'm glad that he's the coach and I get to play, and I want to play quarterback. And I'm just, again, I owe him a lot for how he handled my dad, but I don't want him to look at me and see my dad. I want him to look at me and see me. And today I felt like he saw me. And that's very important. My last name's done a lot of things for me, but we're at a point in my career where my first name has to do those things as well. And it's off to a great start. So let's see where we go from
I like it. I like the press conferences after the big Premium Live events. And it's funny, man, I did not like Cody Rhodes with AEW. But now with WWE, and I'm obviously biased toward, although I love AEW, but I'm a WWE guy always. I like Cody with WWE. I'm a fan, man. He's easy to root for now. Just keep that Brandy, keep that wife away. She's terrible. All right, so I'm going big deal. I really enjoy Cody Rhodes, and that right there is another edition of Big Deal or Not a Big Deal. All right. Thanks to Zach Harper for joining us. Hey, however you listen to this show, make sure you like, you rate, you comment. You can get at me on Twitter at ZASLOW Show, at ZASLOWJ on Instagram, where I'm an influencer. If you want to be part of the show, JonathanZaslow at gmail.com. We're looking to bring on 1 or 2 more sponsors. We're in a spot where that's something that we're looking to do right now. So you can get in touch with me if you think that that's something that might work for you. Otherwise, great job by everybody involved in putting together the show today. You guys did awesome. We'll talk to you on ZASLOW Show 2.0 tomorrow. You know what that means.